All right, man, welcome to the show. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. So in just a second, bombshell story about how the CIA is helping to orchestrate the genocide and ethnic cleansing of Gaza. It's already happening. So we'll dive into that. We have Trump's new pardons, which are completely and utterly out of control. He's handpicking the worst people in the country and pardoning them. We have an update on Jordan Peterson being incredibly washed and incredibly screwed, getting bodied by a bunch of teenage atheists in a Jubilee debate. We'll talk about a secret video of Kamala that leaked where she issued a dire warning about the Trump regime. We have Putin humiliating Trump over and over again. Tucker Carlson finally admitting the truth about Trump. We have a Tennessee pastor who dropped a ruthless takedown of MAGA. That one was fun. And we have Bill Maher and Tim Pool both chugging idiot juice together. When I saw that Tim Pool was on Bill Maher's show, I got a nice chuckle out of it. It's kind of hilarious. Bill Maher has always had like a bias against, internet political pundits, except for the absolute worst ones, except for like the right-wing hacks and charlatans, in which case those ones he snuggles up to. All right, so as I said, we got a lot of stuff to get to. By the way, everybody, please subscribe to the channel. That helps out big time and costs you nothing at all. That's below right here. Thank you to all the Patreon supporters of the show. This is real independent media, real grassroots media. I've never done an ad read. I've never talked to an advertiser. I'm very proud of that fact. So you guys fund the show in tips, $2 a month. $5 a month, $7 a month. Thank you so much to everybody who does support this show. Literally could not do it without you. You have no idea. Thank you for everybody who tips on YouTube using the thanks button. You can also subscribe to Crystal Kyle and Friends below, and go subscribe to the Corin's World YouTube channel, where me and Corin are still posting Kyle and Corin old school podcasts over there. We're trying to get him to 100,000 subs, so if you subscribe to Corin's World, I would deeply appreciate it. All right, guys, let's go ahead and dive into it. Let's start with this. So, as you all know, we discussed the other day about how Israel is starving Gaza. They didn't allow food in for like 11 weeks or something like that. 80 people starved to death. Way more than that are on the brink of death. No food, no fuel, no water, no electricity. We are witnessing a campaign of annihilation against Palestinians. That's what we're witnessing. Now, the other day, Israel decided, okay, we'll allow in a little bit of food. Now, the reason they're doing that, according to them, is optics. Hey, we don't want the world to know very plainly what we're doing, so we're going to try to put a little bit of a veneer over it of seriousness and humanitarianism, so we'll allow in like some limited number of trucks. Now, it's still wildly inadequate, right? But the other thing they did is they said, hey, all of the organizations whose job it is to get the aid and distribute the aid, they're banned from doing it. But it's okay because we have our own organization over here, the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. It was literally started like within this month. But don't worry, they'll handle it. Okay. So, incredibly sketchy. You ban the pros and bring in these amateurs, these novices to do it. Why? Because this group is basically blessed by Netanyahu, blessed by Trump, blessed by the CIA. And really the goal of this group is to complete the ethnic cleansing plan, right? So here, let me walk you through some of this. Mohammed Shahada says, the Israeli-American aid concentration camp collapses on its first day of operation. U.S. mercenaries ran away and abandoned their positions as thousands of starved Gazans stormed the complex after being crowded like animals in a fenced cage all day, waiting for food. The IDF opened fire at the crowd and multiple civilians were reportedly wounded. So here's a video from this. Look at how busy it is. All these people starving, all these people thirsty, waiting out in the hot sun for hours as they forced them to do. Look at this. So, caging hungry people like they're animals. Look at this. This literally just happened the other day. The historical parallels are so obvious. They are so clear. In fact, people have been making those parallels out in the open. Here's one example right here. Srebrenica and Gaza. Looks very similar. So, Dropsite News says the following. Breaking, Gaza Humanitarian Foundation aid site in southern Gaza descends into chaos as U.S. and Israeli forces fire shots. A newly established U.S.-backed aid distribution center in Tel al-Sultan, west of Rafah, collapsed Tuesday after Palestinians starving and waiting for hours in the sun rushed towards the site in search of food. Sources indicate that both U.S. private security contractors and Israeli forces fired warning shots as the situation escalated. Photos released earlier in the day show Palestinians packed into metal enclosures at the site where, according to local sources, they were held for hours in intense heat with no clear system for distributing food. The aid center is one of two launched Tuesday under a controversial U.S.-Israeli mechanism that bypasses UN agencies and has drawn criticism from Palestinians and humanitarian groups. So they're not kidding. Like, this thing literally collapsed. The goal of it was, let's put this place in southern Gaza, tell all the Gazans to come, and then when they come, we'll let them have some food and some water and some medicine, and then we'll say, hey, go to this other place. Then they'll go to the other place, and then eventually they say, go to this other place. And the whole point is, let's force these Palestinians in Gaza, let's force them to go to Libya, is one of the plans. They originally wanted Egypt. They originally wanted Jordan, but now it looks like they're focusing on Libya. So this is the point of this thing. But in the midst of trying to carry out their horrific ethnic cleansing campaign, they're also so immensely incompetent that the thing fucking collapsed on day one. By the way, the head of this organization, the day before they launched these camps, he resigned. This is a mercenary guy, and he probably did it because he knew the purpose of it, right? Or he knew it was going to collapse, or both. Here we go, more. Look at this. Starving people. Starving people desperate for food and water. We're witnessing this in 2025, y'all. More. Here's a video. You can see more of them storming here. You see them running? Another video here. Failure of the Israeli-American aid distribution mechanism on the first day. Personnel organization members fled when coincided with occupation gunfire at the site. This is from Responsible Statecraft. Surprise, the CIA is linked to the sketchy Israeli aid scheme. Meanwhile, retired Marine tapped to run the project resigned, saying it cannot be independent or meet humanitarian standards. A former CIA officer who once headed American schemes to train right-wing Contras in Nicaragua in the late 1980s has been working with the Israelis to hatch a new aid organization, call it independent, and proceed to deploy it on the starving population of Gaza with the assistance of foreign entities and U.S. security contractors, according to new reports. So, guys, again, I can't say this clearly enough. This is the Trump plan. Remember when Trump came out and said, we're going to own Gaza, we're going to take Gaza. He posted an AI video of golden statues to him in the middle of Gaza and casinos on the beach and hotels on the beach and him and Netanyahu sipping a margarita poolside. This is that plan. They're trying to bring it to life. Kill as many people as they can in Gaza, which we've already witnessed day in and day out. And then after that, whoever remains, make them go to this one zone. Then make them go to another zone. Then make them go out of the country to keep getting food and water and survive. The CIA and Mossad and Trump and Netanyahu are directly behind it. And this is the world's clearest atrocity, clearest war crime. It's genocide, it's ethnic cleansing. And also, they're so immensely incompetent that the fucking thing collapsed on day one. I cannot stress that point enough. Now, the Israelis are also just saying it internally, as you know. Sometimes when they face the public, like the rest of the world, they try to soften it. They try to say, oh, no, we just care about the hostages. Really? There's been like 7 deals on the table where Hamas gives all the hostages, and Israel is rejecting every single one of them. So it's not about the hostages. In fact, that's the bottom of their priority list. Literally, that was reported a couple weeks ago. But here's what they say internally. So this is Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich, one of the biggest war criminals. We are not afraid of the word occupation. We are liberating Gaza and settling it. We are at the place where it all started. In the place of this mount, we all thank God. And then again, he goes on to say, let's give power to our soldiers. Are we afraid of victory? Are we afraid from the word occupation? We occupy Israel. We liberate Gaza. We settle it. We win the enemy. He also went on, as did Netanyahu within recent days, to again talk about Amalek, meaning, hey, kill their innocents too. Kill the women, kill the children. That's what we need to do. Now, by the way, at the same time this is going on, could not be more clear what's happening. Thousands of Israeli nationalists chant death to Arabs during annual procession through Jerusalem. They also chanted stuff like burn their villages. Gee, I wonder if they're interested in peace. I wonder if they're interested in giving Palestinians their rights and treating them like human beings. It's a real tough one to figure out. Haaretz says, Netanyahu's lapdog, Strategic Affairs Minister Ron Dermer, threatens West Bank annexation if Britain and France recognize Palestinian state. See, this is such horseshit because their goal all along was also to steal all of the West Bank. They've been planning to steal all of the West Bank. They've been working on it over there, mission creep style, knowing the war of annihilation, the genocide that's happening in Gaza, knowing eyes are over there. They're slowly doing mission creep in the West Bank. By the way, Miriam Adelson gave Trump $100 million in this last campaign, and the quid pro quo was, I'll give you this money, you let Israel annex all of the West Bank. So now what Netanyahu is saying is, hey, if all these countries say they're going to recognize a Palestinian state, well, then we will steal all of the West Bank. No, you were going to do that anyway. And by the way, the reason why these other countries are now saying maybe we'll recognize a Palestinian state is because history will judge this moment as exactly what it is. And all these other countries are trying to get on the record and say, no, we weren't in favor of it being this bad. We weren't in favor of total genocide and total ethnic cleansing. They're doing it to try to save their asses, cover their asses, knowing how history will judge this. And by the way, we won't have to wait 20 or 30 years for history to judge it as what it is. It's already happening right now. We've never seen a live streamed 24/7 genocide in 4K, and that's what we're witnessing right now. Jesus Christ. So this is what's going on, man. This is what's going on. You have a fake humanitarian aid agency run by the CIA and Mossad, and they're using it to try to complete the ethnic cleansing campaign as Israel does genocide, as they also do mission creep and take over the West Bank. As I keep saying, if you've ever wondered what would I have done during the rise of the Nazis, now you know, because whatever you're doing now is what you would have done. The parallels are astonishing. In fact, you can make a stronger argument that we know way more now about what's happening in real time than they did back then. Some people could say back then, we didn't really know the extent of what's happening. Now, nobody can say that. Nobody can say that. So it's happening. It's happening. And every single person who downplayed Trump, we're going to take Gaza, we're going to own Gaza, we're going to build casinos and hotels on the beach. Anybody who downplay that, he doesn't really mean that. Oh, he means it. He means it. The U.S. is going to help Israel take all of Gaza. We're witnessing it right now. There is zero plausible deniability at this point. And by the way, at the same time, you have both the U.S. negotiators and the Israeli fake negotiators are taking Hamas for a ride because Hamas keeps coming out and saying, hold on, we made a deal with Steve Witkoff, Trump's foreign policy guy, and we have the framework of the agreement, permanent ceasefire, full withdrawal of Israeli forces from Gaza, immediate aid flow, appointment of a professional committee to manage Gaza post-deal. Like, they have the framework of the deal. Witkoff's going, yeah, I like this deal. Maybe we'll do this deal. And then the Israelis are doing anything and everything to torpedo it because they don't give a fuck about the hostages. They care about stealing all of Gaza, creating a greater Israel, taking the West Bank as well, going beyond that eventually. Full psychotic bloodlust right in front of our faces. Never seen anything this extreme. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.